They called him the night cleaner. Every evening, 9:30, he pushed his cart through King's Cross Underground Station. Grey uniform, mop, bucket. 67 years old with hands that had seen better days. Thousands of commuters rushed past him every night. Not one of them looked twice, not one of them knew. And that's exactly how James Porter wanted it. Because some secrets are better left buried. Until the night everything changes. Until the night an old man with a mop bucket becomes the only thing standing between London and catastrophe. This is that story, and I promise you, by the end, you'll never look at a cleaner the same way again. James Porter started working for Transport for London 4 years ago. The job interview lasted 10 minutes. Can you mop floors? Yes. Can you work nights? Yes. That was it. No background check beyond the basics, no questions about his past. Just another pensioner needing extra money. And that suited James perfectly, because the last thing he wanted was attention. 23 years in the Royal Engineers. Bomb disposal, Northern Ireland, Iraq, Afghanistan, 2 George medals sitting in a drawer at home. A career spent staring at wires and explosives, knowing one wrong move meant game over. But that was before his hands started shaking, before the nightmares got too bad, before the army suggested it was time to retire. So he took the pension, found a quiet flat in Hackney, and got a job where nobody asked questions. King's Cross at night is a different world. James liked the quiet, liked the routine. Platform 1, mop and wipe. Platform 2, empty the bins, hour after hour, night after night. The station supervisor barely spoke to him. Perfect. That's how James wanted it. But here's the thing about having skills like James had. Skills you spent 2 decades perfecting. Those skills don't just disappear. Your eyes still scan for things that don't belong. Your brain still processes patterns. Your instincts still scream when something's wrong. You can retire from the army, but the army never really retires from you. It was a Tuesday night in March, cold, wet, miserable. James was working the Northern Line platforms when he noticed it. A black rucksack, left against the wall near the tunnel entrance. Now, forgotten bags on the tube happen every day. Protocol is simple: radio it in. Let transport police handle it, don't touch it. But something about this bag bothered James. It was placed, not dropped. Positioned carefully against the wall, and the tunnel entrance, that's not where passengers wait. That's where staff access maintenance areas. James walked closer. The bag was new, expensive looking. He crouched down, pretending to clean nearby. That's when he saw it. A wire, thin, green, running from inside the bag to a small mobile phone taped to the side. James's blood went cold. His hands went completely still. Because he'd seen this before. Iraq, Fallujah. 2004, same setup, mobile phone detonator, remote trigger. James stood up slowly, his heart hammering but his face calm. 23 years of training kicking in. He pulled out his radio. This is Porter on the Northern Line. I've got a suspicious package at Platform 4. Possible device. I need this station evacuated now. The crackle of response. Porter, are you sure? It's probably just lost property. I'm sure. This needs the bomb squad. Now. There was a pause, then a different voice, sterner. This is Supervisor Chen. Porter, do not approach the package. We'll send someone to check it. Sir, I'm telling you, this is a viable device. I know what I'm looking at. Porter, you're a cleaner, not a police officer. Step away and let the professionals handle it. And there it was. The dismissal. You're just a cleaner. What could you possibly know? With respect, sir, I have experience with this. We need to evacuate. Experience? You mop floors, Porter. Now step back and let me call this in properly. James watched the supervisor end the transmission. Watched him pick up the phone to call transport police. The proper channels, the official protocol. And James knew they were wasting time, because the phone attached to the bag, the screen was lit. Someone was monitoring this. And the moment they saw police arriving, they'd detonate. Standard procedure for bombers. James had seen it dozens of times, so he made a decision. The kind that terrifies you even as you're making it. He was going to defuse it himself, right now, before anyone else arrived. James pulled his cart closer. To anyone watching cameras, he was just cleaning. He knelt down and got close. The phone was a basic Nokia. The wire ran into the bag through a gap in the zipper. Inside, he could just make out metal, cylindrical, pressure cooker. James's stomach dropped. Pressure cooker bombs, packed with nails, bolts, ball bearings, designed to maximize shrapnel damage. Boston Marathon used devices exactly like this, and right now, sitting where the morning rush would bring thousands of people in just hours. His radio crackled. Porter, transport police are 15 minutes away. Maintain your distance. 15 minutes. James looked at the phone screen. Still active. Whoever was monitoring would see police arrive, would detonate. He couldn't wait. He had to act now. James reached into his cart. Behind the cleaning fluid, wrapped in a rag, was a small toolkit. Wire cutters, pliers. He'd bought them his first week, told himself it was for fixing his cart. But deep down, he knew. Old habits die hard, and bomb disposal experts never stop carrying their tools. He took a breath. His hands rock steady now. He looked at the security camera, knowing this would cost him his job. But none of that mattered, not compared to lives at stake. He pulled the wire cutters and reached for the bag. His radio erupted. "Porter, what are you doing? Step away immediately." It was Supervisor Chen, panicking. "This is a direct order. Step away or you're fired." James didn't respond. He was too focused, too deep in the zone. He carefully unzipped the bag, just an inch, and there it was. 2 pressure cookers, both wired, but not just to the phone, connected to each other, a dual circuit. If he cut the wire to the phone, the circuit would break, and breaking it would trigger the secondary detonator. Instant explosion. This bomber had training, military grade. James sat back, thinking there had to be a way. Then he saw it. The phone was powered by the detonator circuit. If he could interrupt the power without breaking the circuit, the phone would die, and a dead phone can't receive the signal. But one slip, one miscalculation, the backup trigger would activate. Half a second before explosion. Not enough time to run. He pulled out his wire strippers, found the power wire, thinner than the others, red insulation. He positioned the strippers carefully. This was it. One cut. One chance. He thought about his daughter in Manchester. 2 grandkids he barely saw. He thought about thousands who'd walk through tomorrow. And then he cut the wire. For a moment, nothing. The phone screen flickered, once, twice, then went black. Dead. The circuit still intact, but the remote trigger offline. Useless. James let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. His hands started shaking again, the adrenaline crash. He'd done it. The bomb was still live, still dangerous, but couldn't be triggered remotely. The bomb squad could handle the rest. "This is Porter. Device is partially neutralized. Remote detonator disabled, but bomb still active. I need the bomb squad now. Station locked down, nobody in or out." The radio was silent. Then Supervisor Chen's voice, quieter, confused. "Porter, who are you?" James looked at the camera. "I'm the night cleaner, sir. Now get those experts down here before someone moves this thing." The bomb squad arrived 12 minutes later. They cleared the device safely, controlled detonation at 4 in the morning. The explosion was massive, blew out windows, cracked tiles. If it had gone off during rush hour, hundreds dead, thousands injured. The worst terror attack since 7/7. But it didn't happen, because a 67-year-old night cleaner saw something wrong, and had the skills to do something about it. The Metropolitan Police arrived, Counter-Terrorism Command. "Who are you, Mr. Porter?" "Just a cleaner. How did you know?" "I've seen them before." "Where?" "Long time ago. Different job." James pulled out his old military ID, Royal Engineers. Explosive Ordnance Disposal, retired 2018. The detective stared. "You're a trained bomb disposal expert, and you've been cleaning stations for 4 years. James shrugged. "Needed the work. Pension doesn't go far in London. You saved hundreds of lives tonight, maybe thousands." James looked at his mop bucket. "I was just doing my job." Both of them, apparently. The story broke the next morning. National news, international headlines. Retired expert stops London terror attack. The man they called just a cleaner, James Porter, became overnight sensation. The Prime Minister called personally. Transport for London offered a promotion. James turned it down. He went back to work the following Monday. Same uniform, same mop, same platforms, because heroes aren't people looking for glory. Heroes do what needs doing, even when nobody's watching, even when everyone thinks you're just the cleaner. The bomber was caught 3 days later, part of a cell planning multiple attacks. King's Cross was supposed to be first, but it failed, because one old man, dismissed and forgotten, saw what others missed. 6 months later, James Porter received his third George Medal, and when the ceremony was over, he went back to King's Cross. Back to his mop. Back to the quiet work nobody notices. They say the most dangerous people are the ones you underestimate, the ones you walk past without noticing, the ones you dismiss because of age or job. Remember that next time you see a cleaner on the tube, or a security guard, or an old person doing simple work. Because you never know who they really are. You never know what they've done. You never know what they're capable of when the moment demands it. James Porter proved that. And hundreds are alive today because one night an invisible man decided to be seen. If this moved you, hit subscribe, share it, and leave a comment about the unsung heroes in your life, the people who do the right thing when nobody's watching. Because those are the stories that matter. Those are the people who change the world. One mop bucket at a time.